Welcome back to Secrets of the Sinagua. I'm Will, and today we're exploring the remarkable tools that help the Sinagua people thrive in the rugged landscapes of the American Southwest. The Sinagua were resourceful and innovative, crafting a wide range of tools from materials around them. Tools that weren't just objects, but were lifelines to their survival. As we uncover these ancient artifacts, I can't help but wonder, what would it have felt like to hold one of these tools in your hands, knowing it could mean the difference between life and death? How did the Sinagua manage to not only survive, but thrive in such a harsh environment with nothing but what the land provided? Many of these artifacts were uncovered at the Dyke Cliff Dwelling and many other such ruins, offering us a fascinating glimpse into their daily lives. In this episode, we'll dive into the tools the Sinagua used for hunting, crafting, farming, and more. So let's step into the world of the Sinagua and uncover the secrets of their survival. Part 1. The Importance of Sinagua Tools. When we think about survival in the ancient Southwest, we often focus on the harsh landscape, the blistering sun, the arid deserts, and the rugged terrain. But how did the Sinagua thrive in such an environment? The answer lies in their tools. Each tool, whether made of stone, bone, or wood, was a reflection of the Sinagua's ingenuity and adaptability. These tools were not just functional items. They were lifelines. Every chopper, scraper, and projectile point played a crucial role in their daily survival. They weren't luxuries or conveniences. They were the difference between life and death, between thriving and struggling. It's incredible to think that what we hold in our hands today as simply artifacts were once the vital instruments that allowed the Sinagua to transform raw materials into food, shelter, and security. But here's something to think about. What would you do if you had to rely on nothing but the resources around you to survive? Could you carve a tool from stone or fashion a blade from bone? It's a question that makes me pause every time. The Sinagua didn't just survive. They thrived by mastering these skills, passing their knowledge down through generations, ensuring that the future generations had the tools and wisdom to carry on. As you look at these tools, it's hard to wonder, how long did it take to perfect the craft? How many failed attempts led to that perfectly shaped arrowhead or that finely sharpened scraper? The variety and complexity of their tools tell a story of innovation and perseverance. From finely crafted arrowheads to simple but effective scrapers, each tool was designed with a purpose. These weren't just one-time use items. The Sinagua often reworked their tools, sharpening and reshaping them to extend their usefulness, demonstrating a deep understanding of conservation long before it even became a modern concept. Part 2. Choppers and Scrapers. One of the most versatile tools used by the Sinagua was the chopper. Made primarily from fine-grained basalt, choppers were designed with a sharp edge on one side and a smooth, rounded edge on the other for comfortable handling. These tools weren't just for chopping. Many show signs of battering on the opposite ends, indicating that they were also used for light pounding. As I've looked at these tools, I've often wondered, what would it have been like to rely so heavily on just a handful of tools for everything? From cutting wood and shaping materials, these choppers had to serve multiple purposes. How would we manage today if all we had was a single tool that had to meet so many needs? Scrapers were another essential tool, likely used for processing hides and other materials. Carefully crafted to fit comfortably in the hand, they were ideal for repetitive tasks like scraping animal skins. The simplicity of these tools masks their importance. These were the instruments that enabled the Sinagua to prepare hides for clothing, shelters, and other necessities. Imagine the hours spent shaping and refining these tools, and the satisfaction that must have come from holding something so perfectly suited to the task at hand. Chapter 3. Hunting with Projectile Points. Hunting wasn't just a skill for the Sinagua. It was a way of life, vital for their survival. Their weapon of choice was the bow and arrow, and at various Sinagua sites, archaeologists have uncovered numerous projectile points, small but incredibly sharp arrowheads made from materials like obsidian, chert, and rhyolite. These points were carefully crafted, with each one designed for specific tasks. Attached to lightweight reed shafts, these arrows were perfect for hunting small game like rabbits, but they could also be used to bring down larger animals. The Sinagua's choice of materials was no accident. Obsidian, for example, was favored because it could be flaked into razor-sharp edge, ideal for piercing hides. Chert or rhyolite was also common, each offering different benefits in terms of durability and sharpness. But it wasn't just about crafting the perfect arrowhead. The Sinagua understood their environment deeply and made use of whatever resources were at hand. Interestingly, the Sinagua didn't always rely on stone tips. Archaeologists have also found numerous wooden foreshafts designed to be used as arrow points without stone tips. These wooden points were simple, yet effective, and likely used for hunting small game. It's a fascinating insight into the Sinagua's adaptability. When stone wasn't readily available, they didn't let that stop them. They simply shifted to using wood, sharpening it to create functional, deadly tips. But what does this tell us about the Sinagua? It shows us their incredible ability to adapt to their surroundings. They knew how to make the most out of what they had, whether it was stone, wood, or any other material. And in a landscape as unforgiving as the American Southwest, that adaptability was crucial. Can you imagine the skill it must have taken to craft these arrowheads, flake by flake, to create something that could feed a family? Every projectile point tells a story of the hands that made it, the animal it brought down, and the survival of the people who lived in harmony with their environment. Chapter 4: Toolmaking Techniques, the Art of Pressure Flaking. The Sinagua were highly skilled tool makers, and one of the most intricate techniques they employed was pressure flaking. This process allowed them to create sharp, precise edges on their tools, such as projectile points, scrapers, and drills. Unlike direct percussion, which involves striking the stone with a hammerstone to knock off larger flakes, pressure flaking uses controlled force applied to the edge of the stone to remove much finer flakes. At the Dyke Cliff Dwelling, archaeologists discovered 2 antler tine flakers, which were likely used for this delicate task. Antler tines were ideal for pressure flaking because they are both durable and flexible, allowing for precise control. The Sinagua would press the antler tine against the edge of a tool and apply just the right amount of pressure to remove small flakes, carefully shaping the tool to the desired sharpness. Pressure flaking wasn't just about creating sharp edges. It also allowed the Sinagua to refine and reshape their tools after use. When a projectile point became dull or damaged, it could be reshaped through this method, extending the life of the tool. In some cases, pressure flaking was used to create very fine, delicate points, especially on smaller arrowheads. These fine points were perfect for hunting small game, where precision was key. The skill and patience required for pressure flaking speak to the Sinagua's deep understanding of their material and their environment. This technique, though labor-intensive, allowed the Sinagua to maximize their effectiveness for their tools. Each flake removed was a part of a careful, calculated process, transforming a raw piece of stone into a finely crafted instrument of survival. Conclusion: the ingenuity of the Sinagua. The Sinagua people's ability to craft tools from their surroundings, adapting to the challenges of the desert, shows a remarkable resilience. Their legacy embedded in each stone and wooden tool is a testament to the ingenuity and survival of the ancient cultures. Their knowledge continues to inspire us today as we learn to appreciate the simple yet essential tools that shaped their world. If you're fascinated by the tools and techniques of the Sinagua, be sure to explore more episodes of the Secrets of the Sinagua series, where I dive deep into their ancient methods. Whether it's crafting pottery, working with stone, or exploring the wild landscapes that they once called home. I'm Will, and this is Willow's Southwest Studio. Don't forget to subscribe so you can join me on more adventures uncovering the wonders of the Southwest and its ancient peoples. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next episode. Till next time, my friends.